Guys, I just signed my contract. I'm so excited, I'm nervous. And the first day is gonna be tomorrow. This is insane, I don't know. Ugh. Hey guys, welcome to my very first sit-down video. My name is Rosa. I am a resident doctor in internal medicine in the north of Germany. I'm currently working in a middle-sized hospital here, very close to my home city, where I can actually still live and commune to my hospital. And there since 7 months, which I don't know where the time went. To give you a little bit of a background information about me, I was born and raised in Germany. I moved to Vienna, Austria to study medicine, which takes around 6 years, and then I moved back, took a break, and then last summer I started my very first job here. And I thought I would give you some sort of a recap, reflection video on how it has actually been for me transitioning from medical school to being a full-on doctor with all kinds of responsibilities, and maybe speak a little bit about fears you might have before you start working, which I had a lot. So yeah, let's get into it. So I thought I would start with the first 2 months, because I feel like after that I changed quite a lot. So I started in summer, which was good because you have to wake up quite early and it is so much easier to do that during, a daylight, sun is shining. My hometown is quite gloomy and rainy, so in the winter it gets quite tough to get out. And my working days start from 7:30 a.m. And they go to 4 p.m. 4 p.m. is the official end of your day, and you pretty much never leave before, and it's very rare that you leave on time, but that depends on many things. So I started in an general internal medicine ward where I had to see loads and loads of illnesses and diagnoses, from gastroenterology to cardiology, nephrology, oncology. It was basically everything, which is good for the beginning, I feel like. So in my hospital you get to work as an additional doctor for around 1 or 2 weeks. So you get a small amount of patients, you get to know the system, how the computer works, how you order blood jobs, x-rays, MRIs, CTs, and get to know the team and also the other faculties. And then after a while you will share the ward with another doctor. So in my hospital there are around 30 patients per ward, and there are 2 doctors on every ward. So in theory you have 15 patients a day, but sometimes when a colleague is sick or on leave or whatever, you have to cover that ward as well if there's no additional doctor planned, which is often the case. So it can be quite stressful, and I feel like in the beginning the most difficult part is to get to know the system. So to get to know the people around you, to build healthy relationships with them, to get to know the computer system, how to order things, how to give order to nurses, which in the beginning it was quite, I feel like strange for me, especially when they are twice your age, and you are non-experienced doctor coming from medical school. That kind of felt very weird, but we have the most amazing nurses at our hospital. They are so nice, Generally the hierarchy is quite low where I'm working, which is very helpful. So for a lot of people, it can be quite stressful in the beginning to balance your private life and your working life, especially when you have long working hours. I'm kind of person who really gets energy from meeting my friends after work, or spending time with my family, or doing my hobbies like painting. It doesn't really matter how late it is. I mean, if it's in the middle of the night, that is obviously not possible, but I don't really like the idea to go to work and then come straight home and rest. That is not helpful to me. I know everyone is different in that case, but I would highly advise you to not forget your hobbies and your friends and family. Spend as much time with them as you can. It is quite rewarding. It really helps you to switch off. Obviously sometimes you need a good rest and you have to listen to your body, but otherwise you will just live to work and work to live. Another thing is use to study even though you have finished university, because there are so many new informations you have to sometimes look up, or when you forget a treatment or an illness, it can be helpful to come home and spend like 10-15 minutes on that subject just to revise. Like the guidelines change so much, so it's always good to look that up and to spend some academic time as well. What I also wanted to speak about is something I feel like is not really talked about that often, especially on YouTube and on social media in general. I feel like everyone wants to be motivating and inspiring. It's part of the reality, and it's, if you have fears and if you're scared of working as a doctor after medical school, that is okay. I was one of those people who were extremely scared of the responsibility you have to take as a doctor. I thought I wouldn't do well or remember anything I learned in medical school, and that kind of restricted me. I felt very lost, and then somehow I just went through it, and that is okay. It is healthy to be scared. It is so much responsibility to take. We are, like, the majority of us are in our 20s when we are finished with medical school. I don't really have a lot of life experience. I don't really also think it doesn't matter how old you are, even when you're in the 30s or 40s. Working as a doctor is tough because you deal with the lives of people, the mental health, the physical health. That is a lot, and it is okay to not be the most confident person. So on practical things, we do learn the pharmacology of a lot of meds in medical school, but we actually don't really learn how to dosage them and when to give them and when it's actually indicated, because the book case is very different to the reality sometimes, and also the interactions of drugs and how to monitor patients. Do you need to take blood every single day? Can you alterate that? Is that actually healthy and ethical induced, especially when the patient is very critical ill and is in their final stages of their life? It's generally really hard to deal with, that phase, that final stages of lives of a patient, because you really want to do everything you can to kind of save them, obviously, but there have to be limitations on what you are doing ethically and what you're not doing. I'm very fortunate to have a great team to work with. I am friends with all my colleagues. We do a lot of things privately. We go to dinners, we go to events together, even on each other's birthdays. It's quite a young team, and also, as I said, the hierarchy is not really high, so I'm very close to my consultants as well, and it is a very nice environment to work in. I feel like being part of a great team is the most important part of your job. It doesn't really matter how impactful your work is if your environment is not okay. Your work environment, that will influence you in one way or another. I'm also very close to my nurse colleagues as well, which is very lovely. And another thing I really admire about my hospital is how international it is. We have so many nurses and doctors and other healthcare workers from different countries in this world, and it feels like home to me. I don't know how to explain it, but I love it, and I wish that would be the case in every hospital. I feel like if when you're working or start working as a young doctor, especially when it's your first doctor job, and you have unsociable working hours like night shifts or on-call weekend shifts, you sometimes feel very alone, and your team becomes your family, and the people you see the most on that day, you don't really see your own family that much. So I feel like that's the most important part of any job. And it's actually not only the nurses and the other fellow doctors where you interact with so many people, the porters, the discharge team, dietitians, physiotherapists, therapists in general. You are just one person when you are working in a hospital, and you rely on that team. So it is important to build healthy, good relationships to them, and it is easier if everyone is so nice as they are in my hospital. So yeah, I'm very happy on that note. So I think that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little recap video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. And if you want to follow my journey, please subscribe. I am trying to upload every single Saturday. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you very soon. Bye!